Hello my friends, it's another wonderful day in the Philippines. This is kind of an exciting video for me. My friend who has seen my videos here in Porac, she has a property and her parents live with her, so the property has sat vacant for quite a number of years. She grew up in the house, never ever wants to sell it, but she would like somebody living in it. If somebody's willing to go in, paint it, clean it, fix it up, do some repairs, she's not interested in the rent. She just would like to see it done to the house because it's a lot of memories to her. She's the only child and the one that grew up there. Anyway, take a look and let me know what you think. This is not something I've considered before. I've seen it before, but I just didn't consider it. But this is in Porac, and this little 2-bedroom, 1-bath house really needs a good restoration. Not too expensive, less than what I put into mine. Like I said, my friend owns the house. She wants somebody living in it, fixing it up, taking care of it, restoring it. For that, she's willing to go without rent. If you had this place for 10 years, what would you do with it? A good idea may be all it takes to qualify. Now, nobody's lived in this property for quite a few years, so it's not in bad shape, but it's going to start going downhill if people aren't living in it and taking care of it and that type of thing. The other day, she was over at my house looking at the improvements that I made since I've been there. And she asked me if I knew anybody that would be interested in another house similar to the same situation that I had. So she started telling me about her house. So I came to look, I made the video, and here it is. If you're interested, just leave a comment below or on my Facebook page. They just really need painted, and the walls have been smoothed and been prepared for paint. They just haven't been painted. Now here's a bedroom. It's good size actually. And to the right, where you see that little cabinet, you could build a closet in there with sliding doors and that kind of thing, and still have plenty of room and be a normal Filipino-sized bedroom. That's a queen-size bed, by the way. The other bedroom is pretty much the same, although it could be expanded and take up part of a very large kitchen. Now, the first thing you're going to notice is it needs a ceiling. Ceilings are not tremendously expensive throughout the house. This is also not unusual for a Filipino home. Carpenters only charge between $14 and $20 a day. Almost every house you've seen me bring onto my channel here has not had a ceiling. My house is the only one, and I had to repair that. It just wasn't that expensive. Because it's not expensive, it's usually one of the last priorities. It's on a paved road with city water and public utilities. Let's go over the main things. I would put tile in here throughout, and it's prepared. It's ready for tile. Tile really is not that expensive when you get down to it, especially if you're going to be here for 10 years. It doesn't have to all be done at once. I'd probably travel for at least 1 week a month. That's not that expensive either. Now look at this kitchen. Okay, you've seen my kitchen. This kitchen is in better shape than mine was. Down there at the bottom, you could just put in the doors like I put in. You could put in a fresh countertop right over the top of this one, put in a new sink. You've got electrical, you've got water to it. And over there where she's standing pointing to those, I would actually expand that 1 bedroom into that little area where she's at, maybe actually add a bathroom onto it. So you've got a master bedroom with a bathroom. The refrigerator doesn't work, but whatever furniture is there, it would stay for what it's worth. So you could literally move in today. Now on the left there is a bathroom. Now I would expand this. This is a real basic bathroom. Does not have a flush toilet, but you could make this big enough to actually put in a tub if you wanted to, but definitely a shower would not be a problem. It is not that expensive to with hollow block to expand that wall. I mean, literally $100. Hollow blocks are like 30 cents each, maybe $37 in labor. Now where you're at right now, this is the equivalent of like an outdoor patio. It looks like it has had some bamboo and stuff that has started to sag just because of time and not being used and that type of thing. It does have a pump, which you could cover over. If it were me, I would cap that pump and I would put a layer over the top of this like I was doing a patio. Cost you less than $200. And then just redo the whole outside of it. Maybe the roof, I'd take a second look. I'm not sure. The prices I'm quoting you include materials and labor. What I am sure of is you could rebuild this entire area for under $300. Or just take your time and do it yourself. Maybe one big kubo like I built at my place, maybe like a family room, that type of thing, pool table, maybe a little bar, a little man cave kind of thing. People say, well, why would you put money into a property you don't own? I don't know. Unless if you've got the money to go buy a property, go buy one. But some of us can't afford to buy it if we could buy it. It's not legal for foreigners to own real estate in the Philippines. If I wanted to do videos of properties for sale, I could go into subdivisions, do all kinds of things, but that's not what this is about. If I was still sitting in San Diego going hungry, living paycheck to paycheck, and I could move to this place and fix it up at my own pace and live there for free, this is not a bad deal. And once you get it fixed up, you got free rent for the rest of the 10 years. You could fix it up pretty quickly for a few $100s a month and still have money to do a little bit of traveling. Now the bills and everything will stay in the name of the owner. You just have to pay them when they come due. And compare that to renting a place, San Diego, where you got to come up with first, last, and deposit. You could have this thing finished with that money. You'd have this place for the next 10 years free. That lady there in the red, she's a school teacher. She owns the property. This is where she grew up as a child. She wants to keep it. And maybe you've got a pension and it's not big, but you're a handyman. You're sort of a carpenter kind of guy. You can get in and paint and do some of these things. You know how to do this. When it gets right down to it, this scenario, is this an expat helping a Filipino, or is this a Filipino helping an expat? Either way, it's a win-win situation for the right people. You know, I saw plenty of dust, so it really hadn't been cleaned in a while. But what I did not see one mosquito, not one fly, not one roach, not anything, not a spider, nothing. Let's go outside and take a look at some ideas I had out here. I think, well, you're already decorated for Christmas, so there is that. Now, the first thing I would do coming out here, you see where the street is, I would fill this entire area with gravel and rock, maybe some large rock. That could be done in one day. It's not that expensive and leveled out. That's where I'd park my car. And right along that sidewalk up there, I'd put a little retaining wall, maybe a foot high, 2 foot high, something like that. Then over here, where she's parked her car, I'd probably make a little wall along in there. That'd be my side yard. Now notice on the house that it needs plaster on the outside of it. That, my friends, would cost you, I don't know, maybe less than $100 to do the entire side of the house. That's plastered, smoothed, and ready for paint. She also offered to provide a carpenter and do all the translations required to get them to do what you want to do. That brings us to the back. Now this is that covered patio area, and that little part of the bathroom is back up in there. And back here, you could build a fence along there. I would build like an 8-foot bamboo fence, which is not that expensive, and you wouldn't see any of the stuff back here. The cousin next door, he builds off-road racing, so that's what some of those car parts are for back there. But you could build a really nice bamboo fence, like I'm going to, about 8 feet high. They look amazing. You'd have your own private little compound back there. Just the same thing I'm doing at my place. 8 foot all the way around. You'd have your privacy. You could have your pets. You could have a garden. You could have just about anything. I'm doing the 8-foot bamboo around my property just because I think it looks amazing. It looks great. Another idea, if you're handy, might be able to build a big old shop back there. Possibly restoring antique cars or woodworking, whatever you enjoy. You're not going to have rent to pay, so... But, yeah, I would be like my own little compound back here, an outdoor patio, so afternoons, it's a nice breezy area. People sit out there and maybe watch soccer or some kind of game. Anyway, then if I had the bamboo all walled off, I could make my own little garden back here, landscape it, do what I want. Now up front here, where I'd have the cars move back a little bit, but I'd put like I say, about an 8-foot bamboo ball from the house out to the sidewalk. Anyway, if you're interested, let me know.